Well, hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of the Summer Spotlight 2020. Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Gayle Nicholson. Almost thought I was my own guest for a second there. And I am so happy to bring to you today this amazing woman that I've been talking to for a number of weeks, and I am so excited to introduce her to you now because she's doing some really amazing stuff. Where she's at with what she's got for women who need to switch up their workouts, right? I mean, we've been doing 4 months at home instead of going to the gym, even if we might have been able to sneak out to the gym once in a while. And what do you do when things are not doing what they used to do for you? So here she is, without further ado, Miss Cynthia Croissant, strength training specialist and coach at fitnesssimplydone.com. Thanks so much for being here today, Cynthia. How are you?
I am doing fine. Thank you so much for having me, Gail. I appreciate it so much. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome stuff. So, where are you at, first of all? What state are you in?
I just moved from outside of Washington, D.C. to Houston, Texas. So it was a big move. I'm still trying to dig out from boxes. I'm getting set up here, and I'm happy to start this online business now.
That's awesome. So you are one of those people that had to kind of pivot, right? Going from
Exactly.
working, in person with large groups to doing what you could do from home base virtually,
Exactly.
like so many of us. Tell me
Yeah.
how that process is going for you right now.
It's going fine. I am doing some in-person sessions through Zoom. I do kind of the same thing that I had been doing with individual people where I write up their programs. I kind of see where they are and where they want to be, and I help them get there. It's just through Zoom now. So there's less like hands-on. Like before I would kind of be like, hey, use this muscle and tap their shoulder or something like that. But now I just do it through cueing, just trying to tell them turn the camera to the side and that kind of thing. So it's working out actually better than I had thought. And my clients who have stuck with me are actually kind of happy. They're like, I don't even have to go to the gym. I don't have to change out of my pajamas if I don't want to. So it's been very convenient for them. They like how it makes them feel more safe than if they went to the gym. Some of my clients are a bit older, and they appreciate me taking care of their safety in that they don't have to go to the gym where they don't feel so comfortable. But it's
That's
working out
awesome.
okay. It's working out better than I thought, actually. So that's
That is
nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm loving this because there are a number of people that I've talked to that are like you, that are physical fitness trainers, and all of a sudden, poof, the rules changed.
Exactly.
And there are some that have just been like, oh my god, I don't know what to do.
Hmm.
And then they don't do anything,
Yeah.
which will just kill your business, right? And then
Yeah.
there's others like you, like a couple of other people, Sandra and Joanne, that I've talked to, that it's like, look, you get a individualized, customized, one-on-one session now instead
Hmm.
of being part of a herd. This is
Exactly.
actually could be better for some people. Like you just said, safety issues, walking to your car after a nighttime, CrossFit class could be iffy for some people,
It is. Yeah.
Absolutely. I love what you're doing. That's really,
Thank
really
you.
awesome. So, give
Yeah.
me a little bit about your background. I know that you've always been a big fan of movement as, the way to generate energy. Tell me
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. Movement is medicine. That's kind of my philosophy these days. So I did grow up as a dancer,
Mhm.
did ballet and all that. And then I went to college and I wanted to give back. I wanted to take care of the planet. I was very ecology focused. So I got a degree in geography with an emphasis on resources. And then I got a master's in natural resource management. And then I got a PhD in the human dimensions of global environmental change. And I literally studied deforestation in the Amazon. I was part of a research center that was studying that. I made the maps that they
Cool.
used when they went to the Amazon, and they asked the landowners, like, what are you doing with your trees? And why are you doing that? And so I feel like that has really kind of contributed to the care of the planet, to
Mm-hmm.
our resources. And then I became a mom and I wanted to take care of my kids. I wanted to take care of my family. So I spent a lot of time staying home with my kids. I think a lot of women can, kind of agree with that, kind of feel what that feels like. And I started to work out then. That was kind of my outlet. So I went to the gym a lot and it just helped me to feel better, helped me to get my body back in shape. But it never kind of came back from having kids. And I think a lot of women can sympathize with that. And so I started working out a lot. I started getting into fitness and I really loved how it made me feel. I loved feeling strong, feeling empowered, feeling less stress. It was a good stress reliever. And people started to ask me questions like, okay, so what are you doing? Why are you doing that? How can I do that too? Does this look right? And that's why I started to kind of, give some advice to people, especially women. And I thought, maybe this is something I can do. I can kind of tailor this around the schedule of my kids so I can still be there with my kids, but I can also take what I'm learning and help other people who have similar problems. So I got certified as a personal trainer, and then I pursued continuing education in these other areas, movement and flexibility and kettlebells and TRX and that kind of thing.
Wait a minute, did I mishear you? You said cowbells?
Oh, kettlebells.
Sorry. Oh, okay. I'm like, what do I not know?
No, I'm kidding.
Your workout needs more cowbell.
It does. It really does.
Please continue. I didn't mean to interrupt you. It just caught me off guard.
Yeah, so that's how it all came about. It was never really my plan, like from growing up, that I want to be a personal trainer, but I do feel called to it. Like I didn't feel like I needed to go back to my academic career. I feel like this is something that I personally have experienced and I know how to help people. And I really do want to share that because I know a lot of people are kind of in physical pain and in emotional pain, like they don't know what to do. And so I really feel called to help people in that way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, when I was reading through your questions and answers and all the things that we were going to talk about, I'm like, oh my God, yes. Because my husband has shoulder pain. And I'm like, you need to be out there doing the curls and then you need to be out there strengthening the muscle. And he's like, I can't, it hurts. I said, it hurts because you're not strengthening the muscle. Your shoulders are hanging out of alignment and that's what hurts.
Right.
And I'm no expert. I just know, from experience, when I start doing, then my shoulders stop hurting magically. So tell me a little bit about what it is that, we go through life, we've got low back pain, we've got shoulder pain, and we're afraid to move because of these pains. But in fact, isn't that your body going, hey, I need you to strengthen this up down here, we're crying.
Yeah. So pain is definitely a signal that your body is trying to tell you something. A lot of times what I found is that comes from kind of bad posture habits. A lot of times these days it's from sitting. You sit and you type, or you sit and you drive, and you sit and you watch TV. And what do you do when you sit? You kind of you sit back and you're comfy and you don't want your muscles. You just want to veg out. You just want to not think about it. You just want to relax. So you literally get in this kind of slumped over posture, or you're tired. So what do you do when you're tired? You just slump over, right? And so a lot of times what happens is, you get all kind of curled up here, and then your head kind of comes forward. And then that translates to other aches and pains throughout your body. And so it's just kind of, a lot of it comes from this habit, this kind of bad posture habit, this bad alignment. That's, not really your fault. It's not like, hey, I think I'm just going to set myself up with this bad posture. It just happens, it just happens because you're not thinking about it. You're not conscious of it. And so a lot of it comes from, if you can kind of come from a foundation of better posture, better alignment, just kind of sit taller, everybody's probably sitting up taller now, right?
Right.
Yeah, just being aware of it. Just trying not to kind of curl yourself up, just open everything up. And that can help out a lot. Just being aware of it, just helping. And so a lot of when we hang out in the bad posture, you get like really tight here. Your body's like, oh, I guess I don't really need to be that open. So it gets shorter, in some areas, particularly like the front of the shoulder, like, you see like this is pretty short compared to like here. It's like literally a longer distance.
Yeah.
And so, you get used to that and your body adapts to that. And then you're asking it, like you go, I don't know what you're going to play tennis or something. So you swing your arm way back there and it's like, your body's like, no, it doesn't go that way. We're not used to going that way. You ask it to do something that it's not been hanging out doing. And then that's where you get injured. You go to put your bag up in the overhead bin and you do something you don't do every day. And that's where you get injured. And then, you feel like, well, it hurts when I do anything, so I'm not going to do anything. So I hear you. It's kind of a feedback loop.
Yeah.
But so a lot of that is maybe the pain in the shoulder isn't even coming from the shoulder. Maybe it's coming from a weakness in your back. So that I've seen that happen a lot. I've experienced that myself, that I get because I did so much academic work where I was hanging over and so this gets all weak back in here, and that led to a lot of pain myself. Like I literally was getting numbness going down my arm, and
I was dealing with that a lot myself recently.
Yeah. And it happens. And then you're like, so my arm hurts. And then, so I went and I had an orthopedic surgeon check it out. And they're like, no, that's your neck. That is nerves being pinched in your neck because my head is so far forward. And they literally said that you're on the path to needing some sort of spinal surgery in your neck, unless you can get more space in there. So I was like, oh wow, I don't want that. That is not, I definitely don't want to have this pain in my arm. So it's really tough, and it oftentimes it's hard to know where that pain is even come from. Like I could have sworn it was coming from my arm, but it was actually coming from my neck. So and this basis of posture is something that a lot of people miss. And like, oh, I need to stretch my arm out. So they're like stretching and it doesn't ever get better. That kind of thing happens a lot. Yeah. So my advice would be, check out your posture and, try to open up your shoulders, try to strengthen up your middle back. That would be my 2 cents there.
Awesome. Yeah, I got to share this with you because it seems timely as to what we're just now talking about. Okay. Over the last few months since quarantine, right? Yeah. I'm sitting at home, I'm on my phone, like this, or I'm over my keyboard and trying to see, because I'm old enough that I have trifocals now, right? So I'm like looking at the screen like this if it's too close, and all kinds of strange contortions with my shoulders and neck. And just like you described, I'm waking up in the morning and my 2 middle fingers are numb and like all the way up my arm. And I'm like, that's exactly what I had. Is going on here, right? Now, I've been very lucky throughout my life that I did have a couple of accidents when I was little, so my mom took me to a chiropractor. And now chiropractors can do one thing for you, physical therapists do another entirely different thing. And depending on what your injury is, a chiropractor may or may not be the best in PT, vice versa. In my case, it helped, but it also let me able to like move certain ways and realign my own back. Right. Now, that doesn't mean I can get the neck thing way up here at the top base of the spine.
I admit that I've gone to a chiropractor myself, and I spent way too much money. I spent a lot of money on a chiropractor. I hear you on that one. Yeah. And it does help. The thing about a chiropractor, a lot of times, definitely they're wonderful. And I know a lot of chiropractors do slightly different things. That's a big umbrella for a lot of stuff that they can address. A lot of times what I found is they can make you get back aligned and you feel good and you're going, and then life happens again, and then you kind of get back into the shape you were. So then you have to go back, and then they fix you, and then you go and you do the same thing you've been doing, and then you're back. So a lot of times, it can make you feel better, and that's kind of the goal. But the problem is you don't have the muscles to hold it there.
Yeah, and that's exactly the thing about chiropractors is that you shouldn't be going for more than 2 months at a time. They're going to put everything back in line, and then you should be doing the weightlifting and the stretching that keeps those, so it's a symbiotic system in my experience to keep that going. Now, here's where I was going with it. We went kayaking over the weekend. right?
That's
No
fun.
leg activity, just
Um,
all upper body, right? Like this, all this. And I mean, we're going up against the current, against the wind, just
yeah,
digging in. And my back is just popping
it
all
pops.
over the place, right? And I'm
Ooh.
like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Oh,
And
but it felt good, huh?
yeah, I was so loose after we did this. And then the
Gotcha.
next couple of days, I'm like, oh, I'm going to pay for this. No, my back has been fluid
Oh,
ever
nice.
since. So I just wanted to share that because it's
Yeah,
exactly what we're talking about. When you
exactly.
actually get those muscles in motion, stretch them out, open them up,
Right.
the pain goes away.
It does. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And especially like natural types of movement, like moving your arms side to side. That's kind of a natural movement. That's not something manufactured. Like that's something that your body's kind of made to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a big proponent of this kind of natural movement, especially kind of fundamental natural movements like crawling and hanging and rocking, just kind of things that your body wants to do naturally. Like if you think about like a baby, they don't have any muscles, so how do they go from like a being who can't even hold their head, how do they go to walking? They have these kind of steps that they go through where they learn to hold their head back, they learn to hold their head up, and then they learn to roll over, and then they learn to come up and kind of rock, and then they learn how to crawl, and then they learn the gait pattern. And a lot of times, like adults who sit all the time, you're not doing that stuff. You're not doing the pull your head back. You're not doing the rocking.
Right.
You're not doing the kind of using opposite limbs to move gait pattern. So
Mm-hmm.
if you don't use it, you kind of lose it, and then your body's missing that critical component, and you feel that. You feel tight. You feel sore. You feel lethargic. So, and besides, it's just kind of fun to go crawling around. I don't know.
As long as I
I've
got
done
knee
it
pads, I'm good
before.
with
People
that.
look at me, and I'm like, yeah, you should try it.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Because I'll be honest, that cat pose, where you're arching your back on all fours. Oh, that is such a good stretch.
Yeah.
So, specifically, tell me why is it that women should be paying attention to strength training, not just stretching?
Right. And I've seen that a lot. Like a lot of women are focusing on weight loss, and that's great. Don't get me wrong. That's awesome. And in a lot of people have these kind of aesthetic goals, like I want to lose weight, I want to be slim, I want a thigh gap, or whatever it is. And that's, I mean, that's fine. I agree with that. I have those kind of ambitions myself. I hear you. But there are kind of more medical reasons why you would want to strength train, particularly. I mean, a lot of women like me, I do struggle with bone density. I've
Mm.
had the DEXA scan, and I've been diagnosed with osteopenia, the kind of step before osteosporosis. I just have a genetic predisposition for that. And I got to tell you that I did that several years ago, maybe 7 years ago now. I had the DEXA scan because I broke my toe just from hitting it. And they were like, that seems like it shouldn't have been that much of an impact. There's maybe something going on in your bones. And, I got officially diagnosed with that. And then I started to do a whole lot more weight training. I used the kettlebell for strength training, in particular, some barbell work.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went and I had my scan redone last year, and I had moved the needle. And so now I'm no longer diagnosed with osteopenia. I was able to help that. Not only did it not progress
Mm-hmm.
over these years, it actually kind of went backwards just enough that I'm not in the danger zone anymore. So I was like,
Nice.
yes. It took a lot of work, I gotta tell you. But I mean, you gotta protect your bones, because once you got that problem, it's really hard to overcome that. And
Yeah.
it helps you. I mean, you don't want to be one of those frail old ladies who can't even like get up off the floor. I mean, how empowered are you if you can't even get yourself up off the floor? And just to put your own bag in the overhead bin on the airplane, you want to be able to do that. You want to be able to have the freedom to move as you want to move for as long as you can move. And
Yes.
movement is medicine. There's no side effect to it. There's no, like, you can take a drug to help with your bone density, with your calcium absorption, all that. But there are side effects for everything. And in movement, the side effect is you're less stressed, you sleep better, and that that has a snowball effect on how you feel. And I mean, just a lot of times, life kind of beats you down, and there's definitely a mind, body, soul kind of connection where if you get stressed out and you're just kind of, these days, I think everybody is kind of stressed out. You get into this kind of I'm tired, or you get into feeling defensive, and you're kind of making yourself small, and you get stuck in that posture, and you feel like literally you're stuck feeling that way, you're stuck in this posture. And if you can get your body moving, you like open out your body and you just feel better, you feel more empowered, you feel more open. That, I mean, it can translate into other areas of your life, your psyche, your soul. You're just more open, you feel better, you feel empowered, your Wonder Woman position and all that confidence. Right. So I really encourage everybody. As great as cardio is, as great as running is, as great as doing all your aerobics classes, those are great, but they only take you so far. So I would encourage everybody to focus on kind of mobility, flexibility, stability, strength training. I really do feel like, I mean, it'll help you to look better. It'll build your muscles. As we age, we lose the mass in the muscles, and then your skin starts to get all, saggy.
Yeah, don't remind me.
That'll help aesthetically awesome.
Awesome. Well, then how can I get started? I mean, you don't want to, of course, go out there and, we've got like 10-pound, 20-pound, and 25-pound barbells in the garage, right? I don't necessarily want to go out there and grab the 20-pounders and just start, doing a Terry Crews dance or something, right? So what's a simple and responsible way that I could get started, for example, just starting to pick something up again and add that to my walking that I do in the evenings? Yeah,
walking is awesome. Again, the gait pattern is great. Anything to get you moving, especially if you've been kind of on the couch. Are you doing you're texting, you're working from home, and you're sitting on the couch, and I mean, just I would suggest being mindful of your posture. That's an awesome, very first foundational step. Just try to sit up tall as much as you can. Get up. If you're sitting for a while, get up, move around, open up your chest. And just do a little bit of reversing your curved over posture. That's a great way to start. And all these kind of foundational movements where you're just trying to kind of hold your head back and kind of, like you said, some cats and some cows just moving around. And that'll help with your shoulder stabilizing, which is sometimes a lot related to a lot of shoulder pain. Just not only the lengthening, the stretching, but also the strengthening, the stabilizing. That'll help. So I would suggest what I found the best way to help people start is these foundational movements. Just start crawling. It's amazing how that'll, you don't need any sort of equipment.
Go back to basics, definitely. Back to basics.
Crawl backwards. Give it a try. I'm telling you, it's harder than you would think.
I imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, now, I happen to have, and only because my husband had them, the barbells, right?
Okay.
If I didn't have the barbells, right, what kind of things do you recommend that I could find around the house to start lifting
Sure. With? Yeah. Again, you can do a ton of stuff with just your body weight. And if you want a little bit more information on this, you can always check out my YouTube videos and my website. And I have a free guide to kind of setting up your own home gym. And I would be happy to send that out to anybody who would like it. Just, give me an email, give me a call. But again, I advocate the natural movements. So just doing some rocking, doing some cats and cows, and then you can take that into crawling with your knees up, crawling backwards with your knees up. Give that a try. Push-ups. So you can do a whole bunch of body weight movements with just a mat or a carpeted area. That's all you really need. Another thing you can use is a TRX, like the black straps I have hanging from my door here.
I wasn't going to ask about those.
Oh, yeah. So I use them because sometimes I found that it's kind of hard to work your back, which is a lot of what I need, again, to try to pull my head back particularly. And a lot of people I think need that. And that helps me to work my back particularly where the body weight stuff is a little hard for me to get my back. So I use those TRX straps. These ones are great that they just hang over the door so I can just do them here in my house. You can get the kind where you would anchor it onto something, like a beam in your house, or you could take it outside anchored onto a tree or something. It's a little fancier, but this one works just fine.
Okay.
So a TRX are these suspension ropes, TRX. Those are great. Once you are, and that can kind of take your body weight workouts to the next level because it adds an element of instability. Again, trying to get all stable is a key to helping with some of these pains. Another thing I really love to use is a kettlebell. Those kind of like a cannonball with a handle. Mm-hmm. I love those. They're very similar to a dumbbell. You can do kind of similar things like squats. You can hold them and squat with them. Mm-hmm. But you can also do cardio with them. Like a lot of times, me included, our glutes kind of just turn off. They don't want to work from sitting on them too long. So they're like, I don't have to work. I'm just going to turn off. So you got to kind of fire them up again. And so what I found is like these kettlebell swings are great because they turn your glute muscles on. They, kind of lift and shape your booty and also help to, if you can increase the strength of your glutes, that'll help with low back pain. And all that kind of thing. So you can do these kettlebell swings and it's cardio, it's strengthening your glutes, it's helping address a whole bunch of posture issues. So I just love to do those kettlebell swings.
That's really interesting. I had never thought about that before, that the kettlebell swings help your butt.
They do.
I really did not know that.
Yeah, no, it totally is. Yeah. They call the kettlebell like a gym in the palm of your hand. That's their little tagline there. So I love it so much. I got certified in it, the Russian kind of kettlebell system. Mm-hmm. Certified through Strong First. It's one of the premier certifying bodies as far as kettlebell work goes. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy to talk about kettlebells. I can talk about kettlebells like all day long. That's my thing. So nice. Yeah, definitely reach out to me. I'm happy to talk more about that to anybody who wants to hear it.
Awesome. Now, is kettlebells the right thing to use if you've got lower back pain? Will that actually help, or is it possible that could hurt in the process?
This is true. No, good point. That's absolutely a good point. One thing I do want to say is before you start exercising like intently, more than kind of walking, if you're going to lift any kind of weight, even a lot of your own body weight, I would say maybe get checked out by a doctor just to be really sure that you're not going to make anything worse. Mm-hmm. And if you have tons of pain, like sharp shooting kinds of pain, definitely get checked out by a doctor. Definitely make sure that's all. There's no, disc bulge or something that could be kind of iffy if you move the wrong way. So definitely get that checked out, an orthopedic surgeon or a physical therapist, even your general doctor, definitely get that checked out. Using the kettlebells is awesome. I love it so much. But if you don't do it correctly, there's definitely an element of you can hurt yourself. Mm-hmm. A lot of the weights, if you don't use them correctly, any kind of weights really, because I when I first started to try to lift heavy and work out, I hired a personal trainer myself, and he wanted me to start doing these deadlifts with a big barbell. And he's like, you're strong. Because I've been doing, the cardio and the Zumba classes. I love that. And so I was in, decent shape. So he's like, you should be able to do these deadlifts. And I my glutes didn't work. And he didn't address that issue. So he's like, just do, and I hurt my back so bad. Wow. I was just trying to lift all with my back and not with my glutes. And so I ended up, it hurt. And I think even to this day, I still have once you get hurt, you kind of more inclined to keep hurting that. So yeah, I experienced that. So I would say definitely make sure that you're ready for it, first. You're medically clear to do that. And then I know it's kind of like tooting my own horn, but I truly believe that if he added about it at all, definitely get somebody to help you out, like a professional, somebody to make sure you're doing it right, at least at first, so that you don't, go down the path of injury, because it can keep bothering you.
Yeah, and there are so many ways, and I like the idea of using the kettlebell, but there are so many ways to use it wrongly.
This is true. Absolutely. I'm so glad you brought that point up.
Stop putting at your husband during a fight is not the right way to do it.
Yeah, that's not the best use of it.
No, specifically, okay, that's great, like, guidance on what I can start doing for lower back. What about the shoulder pain? Like, am I completely off base when I'm telling Bill, just do a little bit of shoulder lifting that'll help? Am I off?
Yeah. Again, maybe get that checked out just to be sure. But some things you could do at home would be, stretch this, try to lengthen this front of your shoulder area here. And then a lot of times what I'll have people do is to lie down on their side with their arms out and then just kind of reach back, moving your head as you reach back, just to open this up, and just anything you can do to open up here. And then being mindful of your posture, try not to be all curved. Some people just have a really, it's just really, really stuck in there. And actually, if you do kind of these shoulder presses when you're really curved over, that can actually kind of rub there and kind of hurt. So be a little careful, with that. So what I would suggest is that you work really hard on trying to stretch this out. And a lot of times what people miss it because they stretch and they're like, but what you have to do to kind of really get that to feel better is to strengthen the opposite side. So strengthening back in here, like your mid traps, can also really help that. Again, I would say if you can get like a little band, or a TRX, that would be great. And then trying to pinch your shoulder blades kind of together in the back. That can go a long way to helping hold your shoulders in a position where it's not going to hurt so much.
Nice.
So yeah, basically trying to go from like where the top of the shoulder bone, the arm bone is kind of a little bit curved in, to having it be more kind of straight up and down. That if anything we can do to get it to do that would be helpful. Yeah.
Awesome. Great stuff. Yeah. Now, tell me a little bit about about what you're offering to our guests today, because they actually have to pick up the phone or type you an email. They can't just click on a link today. But what are they going to get if they reach out to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so happy to help anybody who needs help. I do have a guide to setting up your own gym at home without spending a ton of money, without needing a ton of space. So you can do this. You can help yourself out. You can get a couple of pieces of equipment, or even just a mat or an area of carpet. I have some suggestions on things you can do. Get a band. You can buy a whole pack of these bands like on Amazon. I think they're like $15 including shipping, and you can do tons of stuff with these bands. Just to get people moving, get people something to do. With they're like, I can't go to the gym, can't work out. No, you can work out at home. You can. I'm here to help you, but just let me know. I love to send this guide. It gives you some concrete things you can do, equipment to get. Or you can just reach out to me. I'm happy to talk to you. A half-hour assessment or conversation or discussion of like your particular issues, or suggestions on how things that can help you, or how I could help you. Or you can reach out to me like, I'm having the shoulder pain, and then I can get a little bit more information on kind of what exactly might be helpful for you. I'm happy to help you anybody in any way I can. Just reach out to me. I'm happy to give you a half-hour workout, assessment, any other thing that I can help you with.
Very, very cool. Thank you so much for being here today. Do you have any final thoughts for our audience?
Movement is medicine. I keep coming back to that. I firmly believe that, it will help you so much. Just move around. Just go for a walk. Just roll around on the floor. Just do some rocking, cats and cows. Just get moving. It will help you in so many areas of your life.
Fantastic. Again, thank you so much for joining us today, Cynthia. This has been great.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, y'all. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right, Facebook, have a great happy hump day, and we'll see you again soon. Bye. When you open energy work, makes that recovery progress so much faster. That recovery is possible. You do not have to live as a victim until your last days. You have unbelievable strength, and I know that because you're still here. Do you want to create something completely unrecognizable with your life? I can show you how.